Alright y'all, good morning and welcome to day one of Deeper State. It's raining. I didn't get crap for sleep last night, but that ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna show you how to track your macros today and what foods I'm gonna use to hit those macros. I got an empty fridge, gotta go grocery shopping. But right now, I'm gonna go train some chest. Alright, but I figured I'd do a little quick little physique check. Just to kind of give you all a starting point as to what I'm looking like to start this 90-day cut. So we'll get that real quick, and I'm just gonna strip down here in the middle of the gym, so let's do it. Alright y'all, successful chest workout in the books. Now, let's go get some groceries. Alright y'all, here we are back in my computer. I have downloaded the Deeper State Keto spreadsheet, which if you've signed up for the course, you've got this when you sign up. So I'm not really gonna explain how to use it here because that's all in the coursework. But basically real quick, here I am. I'm actually starting one day ahead of y'all so that I can basically have these videos edited and in y'all's feed before you start today. That way you can kind of see how I did today. So I'm starting today, which is actually Sunday, so 1/22/2018. My starting weight was 175.8 this morning. My goal weight is 170 because, like I said, I'm starting with a little higher calories. I'm trying to build muscle. I'm not trying to get too lean because I'm in the off season right now. There's no sense in me trying to get too lean right now. So you would use this macro calculator, which links to my website. I kind of illustrated how to use that in yesterday's video. But basically, my starting calories are going to be 270 grams of fat, 135 grams of protein, 10 grams of total carbs for a total of 3,010 calories. And when you go to phase one, finding macro thresholds, these populate, which kind of breaks down the pie chart here. So I'm going to be at 80.7% of my calories are going to be coming from fat, 17.9% of my calories from protein, and 1.3% from carbs. And we'll just be entering our daily weight in as we go. So yeah, that's kind of a quick little glimpse of what my starting macros are going to be. Now let's go get some food to hit those macros. Alright y'all, we are in the line at Starbucks. I advocate doing like a fat fast, so to speak, when you're doing the Deeper State Keto protocol. You don't want to have like a big breakfast with proteins and carbs upon waking. So far this morning I've had one coffee. That coffee had 1 tablespoon of heavy cream and 1 tablespoon of butter. We've trained, we've done chest. Now I'm here at Starbucks and I'm gonna get a venti Americano with steamed heavy cream. You can also get butter in here if you want. Somebody's behind me. Anyways, I do recommend knowing what you're putting in your coffee. Like ideally, I would know how many tablespoons of heavy cream they're gonna put in my coffee. But I know these people personally, and I know they're always kind of light on the heavy cream, so I'm gonna be a little bit more lax with it and just get the steamed heavy cream from Starbucks. Howdy, can I get a venti Americano with steamed heavy cream, please? Awesome, thank you, ma'am. Have a good one. So good. Alright y'all, so we're at Natural Grocers right now. I was going to take y'all to all the different grocery stores we use, but we're only going to do like one at a time. So today is Natural Grocers. Let's see what we can find. Alright y'all, so we're at 10 grams of total carbs, so pretty low. You might want to get something like some spinach, some dark leafy greens, some broccoli, some cauliflower. Something that's not really going to have a whole bunch of sugar in it naturally, like carrots, for instance, are going to have a lot of natural sugars. You want to avoid that. So I recommend very minimal supplementation. A lot of people want to put collagen in their coffee in the morning. Again, we're going to follow that protocol of fat fasting, so don't have the collagen in the morning with your coffee. That's still going to be 10 or 20 grams of protein. You want to push all that back to later in the day and just have fats in the morning. Alright, so we're starting at a very high fat ratio. 80% of your calories coming from fat. How do you get all that fat in? You can do quality saturated fats, quality monounsaturated fats. I recommend keeping the polyunsaturated fats to a minimum, so no canola oil, soybean oil, stuff like that. But like, you know, lard is a great option. Olive oil, avocado oil, just the natural fats in your meats. All those are going to be really good options to get that fat content up and able to have quality foods. And on that note, Primal Kitchen has a really good salad dressing because it's made with avocado oil. Most salad dressings are made with soybean oil, which you, like I said, you want to avoid. That can cause some more inflammation, so try and get one that's avocado oil based. Alright, y'all, I know sardines and like canned fish is an acquired taste, but sardines packaged in olive oil is a really good option for keto. Doesn't need any refrigeration. It's shelf stable, obviously. It's a really good source of omega fats, and it's just really good for you. Alright, y'all, pickled foods like pickles and olives are a really good option. Olives, for instance, are predominantly fat, so if you get just a couple more fat grams to hit, but you don't really know what you can add to get those few grams without going over in your protein or carbs, olives are usually a good bet. Just be mindful of how much sodium is in the pickles and olives that you eat, because that can add up pretty quick too. Alright, y'all, peanut butters, almond butters, any other nut butter, it's like the Achilles heel of keto because they taste so good, and oftentimes you're getting a lot more than you should because it's just easy to kind of overindulge with them. So weigh out. Don't just grab a spoonful. Weigh out to your nut butters, and ideally, it's probably, unless you have like pretty good discipline, it's probably better to avoid them because they add up pretty quickly, and you're just more inclined to go a little above and beyond with them. Alright, y'all, so obviously butter is a great option for keto. Kerrygold's one of the most known options for keto. Honestly, butter's great. Just get a good quality source of butter, ideally grass-fed butter. It just tastes better, a little healthier fatty acid profile. I like the salted and the unsalted versions. Butter's just, there's not much more you can say about butter. It's just awesome. Alright, y'all, so sweeteners. You got stevia, you've got erythritol, you've got xylitol, you've got monk fruit, and then if you go to the more artificial bases, you've got sucralose, you've got ACE-K, acesulfame potassium. I don't recommend the artificial sweeteners simply because, like sucralose, for instance, can cause you to retain some more fluids. As far as the natural sugars go, xylitol and erythritol, there's still carbs in there. Like, even though it's not a net carb, your body still responds to that. Generally speaking, my two, I mean, honestly, the main one I would recommend and prefer is stevia. Stevia, and especially liquid stevia. Liquid stevia is going to be your best option for this protocol. All these snacky foods, all these bars, Cliff bars, Quest bars, Lara bars, they're all crap for keto, okay? None of them are good, none of them are going to work. Ideally, you don't even want to be snacking that much. It's better to have fewer, larger meals instead of several smaller meals. But yeah, I would just avoid the snacky type foods. The keto brick is a good option, obviously, but those aren't, what can I say about that?
Meal replacement. It's 1,000 calories for a reason.
Yeah. The keto brick is a good option, obviously, but that's like a meal replacement bar. It's not just a snacky food, it's 1,000 calories. So don't eat snacky foods. Ideally, it's just gonna put you farther back, and you wanna just focus on getting quality meals. Alright, y'all, so bone broths are a really good way to kind of just fill you up, get some sodium in. Just kind of a good, it's almost like tea. I treat it similar to tea. It kind of fills you up, but it's not really going to have much of a caloric load. I like these. I also like the Kettle and Fire brand a lot. They're pretty clean. Just make sure they don't have a bunch of added ingredients and stuff. Always look at the ingredients in the nutrition label. Alright, y'all, Miracle Rice is obviously a great option to kind of fill you up and give you some more volume without really the caloric load or the negative effects. However, I recommend kind of postponing your Miracle Rice, Miracle Noodle intake until a little bit later into the course. You don't want to go out the gate guns blazing and not have this to incorporate later on. Almond milk, cashew milk, those are all great options. Make sure you get the ones that are unflavored and unsweetened. If you have the sweetened ones, they're obviously gonna have some added sugar in there. Usually the unflavored unsweetened are like 30 or 40 calories, 25 calories for the cashew milk, so it's a good way to drink something that's not really gonna have a negative caloric load either. Alright y'all, eggs. Eggs are obviously a great keto option. I love eggs, they taste great. You can make so many different recipes with them. A lot of macro trackers will count the carbs in eggs, and ideally I'm an advocate for counting every single thing. However, it's not really a full gram of carb, it's like a half gram of carb. Some macro trackers round up, some round down. I personally don't count the grams of carbs in an egg, unless you're eating like 20 eggs a day. You probably don't need to, but eggs are another great option. What about dairy, cheeses, milks, heavy creams? What about that? So that's largely going to be an individual basis. If you respond well to them and they don't affect you negatively, then by all means keep them in. If you can't tolerate dairy that much, then you might want to remove them to kind of get that next stage that we're trying to go for here. I personally am able to tolerate dairy pretty fine, so I'll keep it in for me. But approach this with like an individual aspect. You know, how does it affect you, and then plan accordingly. Ideally, you want to try and minimize your lactose intake, because that's another form of sugar. So a harder cheese is going to be better than a softer cheese. Butter has very little lactose. A lot of the goat varieties of dairy have much less lactose in there, so explore those options. Try and get foods that are easy to track, easy to manipulate, and just easy to eat. So I'm a huge fan of these Teton Waters grass-fed organic sausages. I mean, they're all the same. The macros are all the same. They have really clean ingredients. They don't have a bunch of added dextrose or preservatives. So this would be a really, really easy way to get a quality food source in and hit your macros without much manipulating. Alright y'all, pesto is a great way to get your fats in. However, like anything that's fat-based, look at the ingredients. If it's got canola oil or soybean oil, once again, I can't stress that enough. Try and find one that's avocado oil or olive oil based, not canola oil or soybean oil. Alright y'all, electrolytes are hugely, hugely important. Your body is constantly in an equilibrium between your water, your sodium, and your potassium. So if one of those is off, it's going to cause you to, you're not going to feel as optimized. You can have muscle cramps, headaches. So you want to make sure that that equilibrium point is solid. I've been using this Vega Sport hydrator for my potassium. Zip Fizz is another really good option. These are 400 milligrams of potassium per scoop. So I personally am shooting for about 4,000 milligrams of sodium. I use the pink Himalayan salt. About 2,000 milligrams of potassium. I'm using this, and then some magnesium or something like that. But definitely stay on top of your electrolytes. All right, y'all. So what about soft drinks and things to drink? So you got water, obviously. You've got coffee. You've got almond milk or something like that, or tea. The soft drinks like the sodas, the keto-friendly sodas, Zevia, LaCroix, stuff like that. That's totally fine, honestly. I mean, if you don't respond negatively to the stevia in the Zevia, then you're totally good to go. I drink these a lot. They kind of help with hunger because the carbonation kind of fills you up a little bit. So again, I wouldn't drink like 20 of these a day, but having a Zevia a couple times a day is totally fine. All right, everybody, we are back from the grocery store. I have my first meal of the day. We have 6 eggs, 2 of those Teton Waters sausages, 2 ounces of Colby Jack cheese, 1 tablespoon of this duck fat, which is amazingly tasty, and then 1 container of these. I normally do sardines, but today I'm doing wild yellowtail in extra virgin olive oil. And this breaks down to 90 grams of protein, 2 grams of carbs, 112 grams of fat, for a total of 1,378 calories. And that is my meal. I'm about to dig into it. A good rule of thumb with your meals is to always ensure that your fat grams meet or exceed your protein grams. You don't want to have a meal with a whole bunch more protein than fat. So that's what we've got going on here. It's gonna be really good. Let's dig in. All right, y'all, time to eat my next and final meal. I'm still gonna have a coffee this afternoon. I'm still gonna have like a little fat bomb I made, but this is my last meal to pretty much hone in on the macros. Let me show you what we got here. All right, so to boost the fat up, we got a bag of peely nuts. These things are the bomb diggity. I mean, look at the macros on that. 3 grams of total carbs, 3 fiber, 40 grams of fat, and only 5 grams of protein. So that's what we're having. Plus, I've got 2 hard-boiled eggs, some kimchi, and a 75-25 burger patty that I chopped up. That's gonna be a little burger bowl, I guess you can call it, with some egg. Not really a burger bowl, it's just a whole bunch of goodness in a bowl. Alright, y'all, we're taking you into my phone this time, not the computer. So in the bottom right hand corner, you see that My Macros Plus icon. That is the macro track that I use. You can use whatever you use, whatever you feel most comfortable with. This is just the one that I prefer. So if you go to the top, you can see I'm within 0.6 of my protein goal, 2.7 of my carb goal, and 3.3 of my fat goal. As long as you're consistently getting within about 5 grams of your goal, you're golden. You know, if you're getting within 5 grams, you're getting good data, and you're gonna be able to make good adjustments. So that AM drink, that's my morning coffees with the butter and the heavy cream. The meal 1 is those the eggs, sausage, sardines, cheese, and duck fat meal that I had earlier. The meal 2 is the meal I just had, the organic, the hard-boiled eggs, the burger patty, the peeling nuts, and the kimchi. And the snack is my final coffee for the day, as well as that fat bomb that I've got in the freezer right now. Basically just 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Just melt those together, stick them in the freezer until they harden. And then if you click on that little icon on the very bottom, it takes you to the analysis page. So it shows my calories, 3,023 calories, total fat, carbs, protein, kind of the breakdown there. And then the pie chart, right at 80.8% of my calories coming from fat. So pretty much right on the money. That's what I'm wanting to hit. That's pretty much what I hit. Got within my 5 gram goal, so I'm happy there. And that is pretty much the name of the game, you know, just one day at a time, day after day. No reason not to hit your macros. I mean, life is life. There's always going to be distractions. There's always going to be things coming in. Plan for it. Plan on being as consistently accurate as you can during these next 90 days. And I can pretty much guarantee success. If you're consistent and you're pushing yourself and you're making progress, then something's going to happen, and it's going to be something good. So yeah, that's that, and I'll check in with you later.